She just disappeared, vanished from the face of the earth, and then her body to be found months and months later.
Did you speak to the family during that time when Rosa Sandoval?
They were as gracious as they could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did speak to them. It was often brief, but they were so overwrought. By certainly the disappearance of their beautiful daughter under very mysterious circumstances, and then just all the speculation that surrounded them, the glaring spotlight, not only of attention and grief and feeling sorry for them, mixed in with some very ugly speculation about her mother, her father, her sister, her brother. And so that really took its toll. And they pretty much have not been willing to speak publicly since then that I know of. I reached out to them myself twice at least, and they never responded. So, and I think it's because they are still feeling the loss and the hurt from the glare of that kind of speculation.
It was such an interesting case in the fact that, like you said, she just disappeared out of nowhere, and then her body found, and not far from where the home was or the school that she was maybe walking to at the time. We don't know if she disappeared the night before or the next morning. How does it make you feel that 15 years later they still have not been able to solve this case?
Well, like everyone else who still remembers the case out there, is wondering, how is that possible? They didn't find anybody? Did they not have someone in mind? Because I think initially it was reported nationally that there was a person of interest, but then nothing. And of course, I think part of the problem was, and as which you have described in your story, is that it went from being an SAPD case because she disappeared in the San Antonio city limits, but then her body, first her skull, was found in Bexar County, 7 miles from her home. And so that became then Bexar County's case. And so I think in the transition, I'm sure that they communicated, but it's really hard to just pick up another case and then put on a fresh set of eyes and start all over again. And so that's what the Bexar County detectives were up against at that time, trying to start again from square one and backtracking and talking, interviewing everybody and anybody, including the family again, including anyone and everyone who knew her, her teachers, her friends. And again, nothing. And it just has been mind-boggling to think, why so long and still nothing?
This case, we started South Texas Pastors, and you specifically came up to me about this case. It had an impact on you.
Oh yeah, how could it not? I think because her parents were Mexican immigrants, had settled in San Antonio, had started a new life for themselves here, you know, pretty much on the surface to be living the American dream. And yet it took this very ugly, violent turn. How was that possible? And I would think that investigators are also as frustrated by the lack of progress. I spoke to a retired detective who took on the case for Bexar County early on, and she seems to think that perhaps it's because it was a stranger who took her, maybe, and making it even harder then to find that stranger, whoever or wherever that person is. So that brings up that other worry. What if they do it again? That I know of, we haven't seen any other high-profile disappearances or disappearances that bear any similarity to what happened to Rosa. So again, that's what these detectives are trying to somehow grapple with and come up with some sort of final solution. I mean, a final answer for this family.